here today. I have a very simple crowd participation chant for you, and I would like for you to join in with me. When I say, "Who runs the world?" you say, "Girls." Let's try it 2 times. Who runs the world?
Girls.
Who runs the world?
Girls.
See, that was easy. Laura Kramer, author of the Sexuality of Gender, explains that one's sex, social class, and racial ethnicity are related to whether or not one is considered to enter the labor force. Gender socialization is the process of learning the collective expectations and attitudes linked to your sex. Through gender socialization, sociologists explain why men and women behave in different ways. This behavior is exhibited through peers, parents, school, religion, and mass media. Gender socialization takes place from as early as birth, throughout adolescence, and continues through adulthood. Suitable gender behavior is reinforced through retribution, while incorrect behavior is chastised. Early on, children learn to change their behavior in order to amplify rewards and reduce punishments. Researchers believe that gender socialization has led to inequality against women in every aspect of life, including and especially in the workplace. Women entered the workforce in the 19th century, eliminating the ideology of the woman or the man being the breadwinner and the wife a homemaker. In 1964, through the Civil Rights Act, sexual discrimination was outlawed in hopes of allowing women to arise in the workplace. Although these separate spheres have evaporated in many homes, the workplace is still dramatically segregated with women on the short end of the stick. Women face sex discrimination, wage disparities, and the glass ceiling. The glass ceiling is a limit on how they can rise in any organization. The glass ceiling was originally used in 1986 by Carolyn Horowitz and Timothy Sheldhart in an article they written for the Wall Street Journal. The term became more popular when the U.S. Department of Labor used it in 1991 during a study of 9 Fortune 500 companies. This study revealed that women and minorities encountered a large number of glass ceiling barriers. The study also revealed that African American, Latino, and Asian Americans do not earn the same pay for comparable positions. African Americans earning 21% less than white people. The glass ceiling is challenged in every aspect of the workforce, from business travel to night TV hosts, and even politicians. In October 1981, Sandra O'Day Connor marked U.S. history when President Reagan nominated her as the first female on the U.S. Supreme Court. Judge O'Connor was smart, had an excelling reputation, and was a prime mover for legislation to require public persons to conduct their affairs in open meetings. In a debate, Judge O'Connor stated, "Women have lacked a certain amount of job opportunity and have failed to receive equal pay for equal work. I feel strongly that qualified women should involve themselves more than they do now. They should particularly be anxious to seek appointments in government or seek out qualified women for political offices." Back in 2008, President Obama emphasized the challenges women and his family had overcome. He shared how he saw his mother hit the glass ceiling, how men no more qualified than she was kept moving up the corporate ladder. I am here today not to just represent all women, but to represent the lesbian woman, the queer woman, the transgender woman, whose voice not only goes unheard, but unsought of. Just imagine all of these issues you have today: the glass ceiling, quid pro quo, and hostile work environments. Now imagine all of those issues on top of being a lesbian, a queer, or transgendered. I like to call this the Plexiglas Ceiling. The Plexiglas Ceiling represents the LGBT community and all minority women. We are not only unseen, but unheard. Lesbians have a barrier of the obvious on top of deciding how open they can be about their sexuality in the workforce. A glass ceiling may be broken at some point. However, a plexiglass ceiling is not penetrable. It's bulletproof, a mirage of what could be. When I was looking for a job several months ago, I was faced with a challenge. I knew there would be barriers for my career, plus, I had to contemplate how to address my recent successes that would be presented on my resume and during interviews. For the past 7 years, all of my endeavors and successes have been geared towards uplifting my LGBT community. What was I to put on my resume? How much information should I give during an interview? These are all of the problems I was challenged with. The Employment Non-Discrimination Act, also known as ENDA, is a proposed bill in the U.S. Congress that would prohibit discrimination in hiring on the basis of sexual orientation or gender identity. ENDA was introduced to Congress in 1994, and we continue to fight to have this bill passed. While states like New Jersey and Pennsylvania have policies or orders protecting against gender identity and sexual orientation, victims are not able to protect themselves in our courts. Despite the establishment that these laws that promise equal opportunity and wages in hiring and discouragement of sexual harassment, women still face psychological and interpersonal struggles. On April 5th of this year, Brand Channel reported that Coca-Cola invested $2 million to Catalyst, which is a U.S. nonprofit-based organization focused on accelerating the advancement of women globally. The multi-year award will be used to create the Center for Corporate Research and leveraging 2 decades of corporate inclusion initiatives to disseminate globally in support of gender parity. If we are able to have more large corporations and more events such as this one, large corporation settings will eliminate the glass ceiling and maybe eventually the plexiglass ceiling. We would be so much closer to equality for women. As with any issue, including the glass ceiling and the plexiglass ceiling, the first step is to acknowledge that it exists. The next step is to change our way of thinking. We literally have to reprogram what we were taught, through repetition, of course. Though this ceiling is thought to be a solid figure that we cannot penetrate, it all begins with our imagination. Thank you.